asking the commands that I specified at the beginning. So can you bring me some spicy chips and something to wipe my hands? On the other side, we have Fei Shao, one of the co-authors, who is connecting with us from Mountain View. So we are doing this demo across the globe, communicating to the robot, and let's see if it can carry out that instruction. Here in the chat, you will be also able to see what the robot is responding. This is how SayCan is planning. Right now it's actually clarifying, do you want to have it be delivered at your desk or another location? Brian specified it's at my desk. And then you will see how the language model reasons about the different steps, and we'll see if the robot can succeed at this.
So while that's happening, I'm going to keep going through slides, and it maybe be somewhat distracted, but I'll talk about some of the results that we found. So for the paper, we did 101 instructions. Overall, we got 84% planning rate. We did this over a variety of skill types, so really long horizon ones, shorter horizon ones. We actually had some that were 50 plus navigation and manipulation skills in a row. So this was like clear everything off the counter, throw away everything in the kitchen. Importantly, this grounding actually halved the overall error of the language model. So it's really important that we ground our models in the real world in what the robot can do.
In the meantime, you can see the robot just found jalapeno chips, which are spicy. Now it's trying to grasp it.
One thing that we're super excited about is that we can sort of ride the wave of language models and all the progress there. So as we get a better and better language model, our performance improves, is what you can see on this plot. We can also take algorithmic breakthroughs of language models, such as chain of thought prompting, get performance boosts just basically for free. Then we can do, at the end, sort of abstract tasks, tasks that require reasoning, like two different sodas, they have to be different ones, long horizon ones, or even multilingual just sort of falls out of the language model. The other thing is you can actually go and play with this. So we've open sourced to Colab. It's just a tabletop environment rather than the full robot, but it at least allows you to sort of see the capabilities of the language model and the overall algorithm. We also can like show a bunch of decisions that it's made in this interactive website.
Right, so while the robot is, I think, just found the napkin dispenser, and now it's going to grab a napkin because you wanted to wipe your mouth with something. So one thing that I wanted to add about this demo is that this is being done in a previously unseen kitchen. So this is a kitchen in a Google office building, and we didn't train the robot in that kitchen. In the meantime, let me tell you a little bit about Dirty Laundry. So one of the things that we found out is that affordances, that aspect of SayCan, can be actually fairly tricky to get to work reliably. So they can be quite brittle. This is right now, I think, one of the bottlenecks of the entire system. The way we train them is using value functions with sim-to-real reinforcement learning. But I think there might be better ways to do this so that the robot can, in any situation, be aware of what it's capable of and answer it confidently. Secondly, in the current setup, grounding is done completely separately from the large language model part. So we have a separate affordance model, and that means that there is a little bit of inefficiency. So first the language model comes up with the entire plan or what it's trying to do, and then the affordance model has to score that. I think there's a way better way to do this where both of these things can be done by the same model. Thirdly, as in any large language model work, there is some prompt tuning that is required. In the appendix of our paper, we show some ablations demonstrating how many examples you need in a prompt to get what kind of level of performance. In the meantime, we can see that our robot said, "It was a pleasure assisting you, I am done." And here is a proof Faye is showing. Yeah, Faye can demonstrate.
Violets are blue. Bring me the rice chips from the drawer and a napkin too. So this will go ahead and send the command to Palm. Palm will generate a list of steps, and SayCan will take it from there to round it onto actual robot policies that it can execute. Let's see if the robot responds.
So here I want to show that there are two views. The top one you're seeing is more like a panoramic view of what is happening in the kitchen. It's a real kitchen in the Google building. And there is bottom left, there's another view, which is a close-up view of the robot. So we will show this, we will show the robot manipulation in that view.
So the MK bot says, on my way, I will bring the rice chips from the drawer to your desk in a napkin. I am going to the drawers. We have Tomas, our camera guy, following the robot. I'll be able to hopefully get a close-up view of the robot in action.
Andy, it seems that the close-up camera is higher quality, so if you can pin that, it will be even better.
Sounds good. So this is running a visuomotor policy that is closed loop. It is spitting out actions at 3 Hertz, and it's taking in images as input and visuomotor control commands as output. And part of what Palm SayCan does is that on the one hand, you have a decoder architecture from Palm SayCan that's outputting probabilities out of a list of known skills that the robot can execute. Those are the probabilities at which the decoder feels that it should be a reasonable next step to execute. And then on the other side, you have the affordances of the robot policies in which you want to essentially, based on the current observations, how likely you can actually execute the skill at hand. You multiply those probabilities together, and ultimately you can be able to re-rank which steps are actually executable on the system. So here, the robot is outputting each of the individual steps that are also being executed. I'm going to the drawers, I am going to open the drawers, I am going to take the rice chips out the drawer, and I'm going to close the drawers. So these are individual steps coming out of the plan, and each of them are, oh. Oh no.
So what happened is the robot finger fell off, and we did a live repair, and the finger falling off is a safety mechanism that we built into the system, so it doesn't exert too much force. So like we have a system, we have safety system in both the software and the hardware level. Another thing that I want to highlight, and also answering a question from the audience, is that this is an unknown indication for the manipulation policy. So the manipulation policy is trained in robotic classroom and also trained in collect some data in the other kitchen. But manipulation policy has never seen this kitchen before, so it's purely generalization. It has never seen this drawer before. So the fact that it can open the drawer is quite amazing. Regarding how does it know the position of the drawer, so this one is actually we label important locations of the environments and then put it in a planning algorithm. So the planning algorithm knows where to go. That is to answer the audience question. Here the robot is grasping the napkin, which arguably is a quite difficult problem, manipulating deformable objects, which is quite challenging for traditional robotics. But here, the underlying manipulation policy can do that. I also encourage everyone to take a look at our robotic transformer RT1 release. So that is also what's powering this demo and our SayCan runtime. Back to you, Andy.
Cool, thanks, Faye. I think one of my favorite parts of this as well is that a lot of the capacity to be able to react to the different visual nuances and all of that is baked into the policies themselves as well. And so, as Faye mentioned, this is a new drawer. The texture of the drawer is wooden, so that's also textures that the system hasn't seen before during training time, and it's sort of capable of adapting that on the fly, and I'm really excited about that. It has a little basket on the side, so it's putting everything there and bringing it over to Faye.
Yeah, basically the robot delivers here, and we are able to receive it. Receive it from the robot. Robot says, "It's a pleasure assisting you," and
Yay! Nice. Thank you, Faye.